What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait, I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. We are back. We are back on TikTok. We are back on TikTok. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. If you didn't know, now you know. May 20. Is it May 26th or is it 28? What? I can't see. Well, it is the 26th, 12:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome. Welcome back, TikTok. Welcome back, TikTok. Let me see what kind of ridiculous comments you're throwing in here. Hold on. I'm so happy. I am so happy. We're finally back. And I'm going to promise that I'm going to be a good boy. Okay? I am absolutely going to be a good boy. I will not break, and I will make sure nobody breaks. Look how happy you guys are. I'm as happy as you guys are. Okay? I'm looking right now on my phone, and I see all you people that have been waiting. Okay? I've been resurrected on TikTok. That's right. I was so happy to see the approval. They had me shadow banned. Not even shadow. They put me in the corner. They put me in the corner. Okay, they put me in the corner. And I don't even know what I did. I don't even know what I did. I wrote them a goddamn thesis. I wrote them a thesis on why I should be allowed to be on TikTok. I had to write them a goddamn thesis. Okay. It was probably one of you guys too, man. It was probably one of you son of... See, again, I'm on my best behavior. I'm on my best behavior. I am on my best behavior. Now, you might be asking, why don't I have a suit on today? Tuesday, no suit today. Okay? Tuesday, no suit today. And I think this was Landy's fault, by the way. I think everything that happened, the puppet went ahead and purposely took me out on TikTok. But we shall not have that again. We shall not have that again. Anyway, I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. It's not Happy Memorial Day weekend. It's an observance, and you acknowledge the people that, for those who we have lost, and those who protect our country. Like, it's a day of observance. I hate when people say Happy Memorial Day. I hate when people say Happy Memorial Day. You're acknowledging our military. You're acknowledging the people that have protected our asses, especially you. I don't even know you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, especially you. I'm fired up today. I am fired up. Look, I gotta jump in my step today because of TikTok. TikTok is back. Shout out to X. I love you, X. But the TikTok fam, man, something special. Something special. Anyway, before we continue on to crypto, politics, and AI, how about those New York Knicks? How about those New York Knicks? We're back, baby. 27 years later, we are back in the finals. Now, we don't know who we're going to face. It could be Oklahoma City. It could be San Antonio. But it doesn't really matter. We've swept and demolished anybody who's come our way. ESPN, Fox Sports, all these candy-ass sports outlets. What do they say about Jalen Brunson? Remember what they said about him when the Knicks signed him? They said, what is this? He ain't a superstar. He ain't a star player. He ain't gonna do nothing for the New York Knicks. What an awful signing. He's a nice player, but not the player. They said he was short and he's 6'1". Now what? Leon and the entire crew put together, CAA put together a wonderful roster, a deep roster. They're hitting threes blindfolded. Got Josh Hart talking shit. Yo, Josh Hart is like, I don't know, the light version of Dennis Rodman to me, man. He's just talking shit, but he's keeping people together. Cat is coming through in the clutch. Towns is just coming through. And Mitch Robinson, imagine if he can actually hit a free throw. Imagine. He's worse than Shaq. But besides that, if you don't look at that, he's dunking on motherfuckers. Go New York, go New York, go! And they're saying, oh, the Knicks are not going to have their way with anybody who comes out of the West. Are you watching the same? Are you watching this team? Are you watching the same team that I'm watching? Shout out to Fran. Shout out to Tech. Shout out to the whole crew on TikTok. Can you imagine? They don't even give us, we're going to be the underdog. We just swept everybody. We're on a 10-game win streak. We are on a 10 game win streak. And we're the underdog. The West is tougher. Shut your mouth. Hey, the West don't got no good music. Your whole catalog comes from the East. How many rappers you got out in the West? Who you got? Kendrick? And his roots are from the East Coast. You had Pac. He's East Coast, Baltimore, man. Well, what are we talking about? Anyway, the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks. Anyway, I'm still on this topic of Pomp coming out and saying crypto is dead. And I really feel that he said that because he's an institutional player. Like that's how I feel. I feel like those words were uttered or tweeted out because he's an institutional boy. Crypto's never going to die. It is crazy. Crypto was made for retail. Crypto was made for the people. And now we have people that want to sideline the people. Really? You want to sideline the people? Crypto is dead? Shame on you, man. For real. I ain't gonna hold back no more in terms of saying things like this because it should be said. A lot of people have no balls to say shit. I got the balls to go ahead and say whatever I want. And here, when Pomp comes out and says that crypto is dead, and he's essentially talking and being a mouthpiece for the institutional players, well, he's an institutional cat himself. Please. What was that, clickbait? Was that rage bait? Like, I don't get that. Crypto is dead. Who says? Aren't you the same guy who came out on your Twitter and stated that if you love Bitcoin, then you're going to love XRP? Should I show you the tweet? You're that guy. You're that guy. And you're talking about crypto's dead? Okay. Crypto is dead, right? Okay. Like Hedera and Algorand and Midnight and Cardano and all these things that I can name out to you, like Chainlink, like these people are not building. It's dead, right? You'll say that XRP stopped building too, right? Ripple stopped building. Okay. Ethereum, as much as I'm down on Ethereum right now, as much as I really am disappointed with Vitalik, and Vitalik came out with a tweet a few hours ago saying that we should get back to the cypherpunk, something, whatever. I don't really give a fuck what he said. At the end of the day, though, you're going to say that crypto is dead? Really? Crypto is dead? Let's go to Landy. We got Landy here for 15 minutes. We'll go ahead and talk about the markets. And after that, we're going to talk about the product that came out, Gmarkets, gmarkets.io came out. One of the first of many products that are coming out from the Gokhshtein Media headquarters. Let's go ahead and bring in Landy. That shit got me tight, though. Angle of front, that shit got me tight. What's going on, Landy? Good, hello. Good morning to you.
Hey, David. Good morning to you. Well, afternoon to you.
What's going on?
I'm just over here enjoying the crypto is dead market. Doesn't exist.
I'm just blown away by, like, why hasn't anybody really come on their podcast and talked about this. You can tweet about it, but why hasn't anybody shown face, gone on their own podcast, and talked about essentially what was said? Like, here's Pomp, who's a big personality within crypto, comes out and says crypto is dead. Like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Crypto is dead. Are you now a mouthpiece for the institutions? That you're just coming out here and just saying shit like that, man? Like, where are you getting crypto is dead? And why are you encouraging that in the first place? Like, wasn't crypto everything that I've ever learned in this goddamn space, this goddamn industry? Like, it's for retail, it's for Main Street, it's now for Wall Street. So what are you pushing? Wall Street's agenda? Like, where are we at, man? Just say it with your chest out. Say it with your chest out, brother. That's how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling like, shout out to TikTok. I'm definitely feeling that we're back on TikTok, and it makes me feel some sort of way. But
I mean,
like he said it like a week ago or something, a week and a half ago. I don't know. It's been boiling up. Like I really, and I've been tweeting about it. I've been tweeting about it.
this is something you and I've talked about before, though, right? Like, when I say it, I'm saying it in jest, right? I don't know what he's saying because I don't think it's very clear. My contention is that crypto as we knew it is dead. In terms of the old types of rotations that we used to get for liquidity, because we're going to start seeing a lot of productization that is outside of the crypto native environment for exchanges and even dexes. Now I know that everybody's very excited about, perp dexes and decentralized exchanges, obviously with Hyperliquid doing very well, and all of the different tokenization efforts and a lot of this stuff with SpaceX leading up to that. And I think that that's going to play a very big role going forward. But I think that kind of lends to what I've talked about with you. In my view, is that as we knew it, it will not be the same. Obviously, I'm being hyperbolic when saying it. I don't think he's being hyperbolic. But then again, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, which I rarely do. I don't really understand what he's saying about it. Right? Is he saying that everybody? It's like because on chain is going to grow, right? So then, by virtue of that, is he saying that cryptocurrencies are going to be dead and then blockchains are going to grow? But if blockchains are growing, cryptocurrencies aren't going anywhere, right? So like, I can't really wrap my head around exactly what his point is. Obviously, when he put that out, I got a lot of people that were messaging me like, ha ha ha, you've been talking about this all the time. What'd you do? Infect everybody with it? And I was like, no. I don't, he's not saying the same thing that I'm saying, I don't think, right? Or that we've talked about here. Or maybe I'm just misreading or misunderstanding. I don't know.
I just honestly, I'm very disappointed. I'll put it that way. Because, well, I shouldn't be disappointed because he's Morgan Creek Capital, right? And that's an institutional player. Bottom line, that's Wall Street, right? Like when you sit back and think about it, that is Wall Street. So how can I be surprised with a comment like that?
Yeah, I mean, but I come from there myself, right? Like it's not like this is not like I don't know. I'm very conflicted when it comes to this kind of the Bitcoiner especially this has occurred a lot with Bitcoiners, like supposed Bitcoin maxis, right? Is that they have completely pivoted from not your keys,
How can
not your coin.
how can he be a
Bitcoin.
maxi when he
Well,
came out and he stated,
hold on.
if you
Wait.
like Bitcoin, why don't you go ahead and see what happens
But
when
reality and the image that people create are two different things, right? So when people style themselves as, especially in this space, as Bitcoin maximalists or Bitcoin maxis, in almost every case, I've found that to not be true. But I mean, when you think of certain personalities within the space, the first thing you think of is their Bitcoin takes and their Bitcoin maximalism, and this is something that is a brand identity for many in the space, but it's usually not actually the reality, right? And that's something that I think, um, when looking at a lot of the quote unquote heroes of Bitcoin and that make it out into the mainstream for being known as big proponents of Bitcoin, um, they always, they always have something else that's going on that kind of runs at odds with the ethos that they preach about it. And I get what you're saying. Like, if you like this, then you'd like this and that kind of stuff. But that's not the outside perception. That's stuff that if you're deep into crypto, it's just it's a little odd. Look, I don't begrudge people if they're just straight up with their opinions about it, and explain their opinion clearly. I'm a little unsure of exactly where many of these kinds of guys are coming from in that regard. I know what I believe to be true, and that is that if we're being you and I being hyperbolic and joking back and forth, and I'm just being a kind of a jerk little puppet, I'm going to say crypto is dead, but I always clarify that that's in jest. It's because it's dead in the way that we knew it, because it's evolving, it's moving forward, it's being adopted. Blockchain is being adopted, cryptocurrencies are being adopted by bigger players, and we're going to continue to see this grow.
I don't mind saying that we're evolving because, of course, we are. As a space, obviously, it's not going to stay. It's not going to be what it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it
That's
can't be.
understandable.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be a successful industry, you're going to have to evolve, and we understand that the internet evolved too, right? Like I get that. But
The
to say
internet
that
evolved
crypto
and
is,
devolved at the same time.
but like
Yeah.
the way he said it was like crypto is dead. Like crypto is dead. And that's a fucking shot at everybody that's working here within this industry trying to create something here in crypto. Like that is an absolute shot. And a spit in the face to anybody who's creating. That's disrespectful. That is 100% disrespectful. Like to me, by the way, without altcoins, and I will stand on this till this very fucking day, and nobody's going, I don't care whether people disagree with me or agree with me. Without altcoins, Bitcoin's price is not where it's at today. And that's 100%. That is 100%. Don't give me the whole, well, there would be more liquidity to put into Bitcoin. No, like without altcoins, you don't have Bitcoin at its current price. There is something that altcoins have done to help Bitcoin reach its goals. That's why when people talk about like, like these altcoins are threats of Bitcoin, no, it's not. It's never been a threat. Never will be a threat, never was a threat. But altcoins have helped Bitcoin. Regardless of whatever anybody wants to fucking say. A lot of people have come through altcoins and found themselves going into Bitcoin. Without the altcoins, it would maybe never go into Bitcoin. They'd shy away from it. I will stand on that. You know why I can stand on this? Because I mosh pit with the people. Okay, I'm not talking with bankers all the time. I ain't talking with Wall Street all the time. You know who I'm mosh pitting with? The people. And when you talk to the people, when your boots on the ground and you're asking questions and you're having conversations, they tell you. It's like 8 out of 10 people will say, yo, I've never had intentions of getting into Bitcoin. Too expensive. Whatever, didn't understand, too complicated, no real rooms to go ahead and actually learn about it. I got into an altcoin. My first crypto was XRP. My first crypto was whatever it is. It wasn't Bitcoin. Eventually, I found myself going into Bitcoin. That's what they'll say. Why don't people? I'm telling you, people should really have a conversation with a lot of people within this industry. A lot of retail folks in this industry y'all should have a conversation with them. You don't have to believe me. Ask the people. Go mosh pit with the people. And you will see that you will come out with a different absolutely different thought on this entire situation. That's all I'll say. So you want to kill crypto? You think crypto's dead? All right, no problem. You know what? Crypto needs something to rally around. Something like this should rally retail, to really rally retail, to give a big middle finger to the motherfucker saying that. That's just my thought. There's your catalyst. Your own people telling you that crypto is dead. Your own people. You expect this from anybody else. You expect this for... You know what's the fucking craziest part about this? These are the same people that are rooting on the Larry Finks, all these fucking Black Rocks and Vanguards. We root for them. These are the same people that they didn't try to destroy crypto. They just wanted control of crypto. You're rooting for them and their products, but you won't root for the people that are actually building here, that actually help build the foundation here. You'll come out here and say crypto's dead. You guys are done. You're cooked. It is crazy. It is absolutely mind-blowing that you guys would align yourselves with the banks and institutions that have absolutely not allowed you to ever succeed in life. You or your parents or your entire bloodline, you're aligning with them. You guys are sellouts, honestly, straight up sellouts. I love Bitcoin, but I will not sell out to any of these vultures. Wild. It is wild. It got me. You know what? Maybe after a week and a half, it processed. It's just like, yo, man, this is wild. Your own people. It's always your own people. This is like Jesus and Judas. Like, this is it. You want to make a comparison? This is some Jesus and Judas shit. It's always your own people, man. It's always your own people, man. How are the markets looking, Landy?
Well, Bitcoin put in a high on the weekly about 2 weeks ago now, coming into this weekly candle. It's pretty clear what we need to see in terms of holding up on lower term timeframes. I talked about this last week with you, and I mentioned after losing 78, the big area to look was $76,000 to $74,000. We did see a nice sweep in towards $74,000 and a nice little bounce out of there. So, that area remains the important area to watch. If we do start seeing closes now below $74,000, I would expect, in the near term, a pretty quick move down to 70,000 to around $72,000. And then that's, I've said this over and over again, that's where the rubber hits the road, because just below there is where we saw the initial trend change into this nice uptrend that led to the monthly at 82.5 to 83. And that big, in this case, a bearish retest. And Bitcoin's holding up pretty well thus far in terms of price action. It actually has an opportunity from here, as long as it's holding closes in and around that 74 to 76, to try and head back to the highs and test that area again. But if we do see it head down, 70 to 72 is kind of the last line in the sand. Below there, I think Bitcoin plays back to the low side structure, potentially roping in the actual low eventually at that 50 to 60 initially, and then potentially more to the downside. But right now, that's not really in play. So it's just kind of watch, wait, and see where things go from here. To the upside, if we do start to see around that 78 to 78.5 reclaimed, we've got a decent shot to see Bitcoin push back to the 80,000 to 82.5 highs around that monthly. And then that's where things get interesting for further potential upside to test on any kind of closes, especially on the daily, is what I'd be watching, is closing price structure. So if we were to see closes above 82.5 to $83,000, I'd be looking up to 85 to 86 initially, and then potentially to 89 to 90, and maybe even more on the cards there, but that's big weekly zones overhead above that monthly at 82.5. And it's all about watching $74,000 for me on a close. Um, and we can always see downside price action that hits 70 to 72. You don't want to really see closes there. That would be a bearish reclaim of the low side structure. And I'd be looking for that area to continue to get filled out mid 60s to low 60s, and potentially more. So big thing that I've talked about with you over and over and over and over again is the risk environment as it relates to oil. In this case, I've been tracking WTI crude. We saw that hit my downside targets that I've been talking about. What have I been talking about? Watch 90 to 95 to the downside, and to the upside. If we see oil trading above, the 102, the 98 to 102 and a half level, I've been looking to the upper area, above 105 to, potentially see resolution back up towards, 110, 112, maybe even go for those highs. But thus far, we've seen a breakdown in oil. We got below 90. We didn't close below it. You want to see closes below $90 on WTI crude. That helps the risk environment. That creates a more risk on type of an environment for traditional markets and even Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But moves back to the upside. Just beware of risk rotation into risk off. We are entering a pretty interesting phase for the Dow, where we got expansion above the all-time high finally. And as long as we're seeing the Dow, continue to push on in terms of its trend and its uptrending daily structure, we could potentially see a nice continuation for Nasdaq and SPY as well, which also made brand new all-time highs. So I think that helps Bitcoin hold up at some higher floors here if we continue to see a positive risk on environment for traditional market structure. And that's all going to be predicated on what's happening in oil. One of the things that I did want to talk about real quick with you, right? Is the oil trade. A lot of people talking about, like, why are you concentrating so much on oil when after the initial move down, oil's been up, but markets have been ripping. And my entire point behind that is that because the United States is the world's number one energy producer in terms of oil and liquefied natural gas, and is now moving pretty far ahead in terms of the exporting side of things. What we have is a risk environment where we have what's called demand destruction. I've talked about here a little bit with you in Europe and Asia, which means that there is downside pressure on growth in those economies. Things are slowing down because of the higher oil prices, because they're experiencing disproportionately higher oil prices. You think gas is expensive in the United States? Go look overseas. And what happens there is you get capital flight to the most liquid markets on the planet, and that is the US markets, right? One of the main reasons why we haven't seen that same type of risk on move is for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is because they're considered the highest risk on the risk curve for assets. And, we have seen a nice move. We've seen a very nice move in Bitcoin to 82 and a half at a major monthly level. We've seen nice moves in the majors back to the highs of their ranges, and potentially, and even some cases, we've seen some really nice outliers that have gotten really nice runs above their prior all-time highs. Hyperliquid, Venice, there's a whole bunch of others. Even some memes are popping off here and there. Shorter term trades, yes. Longer term in the case of Hyperliquid and Venice, and Bitcoin in this case, in terms of the uptrending structure. But realistically, we need clarification in terms of what is happening in the global markets as it relates to energy and shipping, that would allow for free flowing shipping through that strait. Because what that would do, even if it's not going to tangibly impact the current shipping routes that we have seen readjust around this conflict, what we would see is that would provide a lot of confidence and relief for the speculators that I think would benefit your very high risk curve assets like Bitcoin and crypto by extension, right? Doesn't matter what Big Daddy Larry and everybody else tells you about store of value with Bitcoin and hedge against inflation. The market doesn't treat Bitcoin or crypto that way. So we would need to see an environment that would encourage a much higher degree of risk on that would extend to cryptocurrencies just because it's extended to traditional markets for the US um, and Kospi, which is the Korean index and other indexes because they're very liquid. They're still much lower risk, even in the higher risk categories there of tech and so on and so forth, than Bitcoin and crypto. So we need to see some resolution. And more importantly, we need to see flow because there's a lot of catch up that Europe and Asia have to do when it comes to energy imports. So we need the extra exports now and those shorter routes and the relief in insurance that would allow for the markets to absolutely cook for Bitcoin and crypto.
Landy. You had your market update yesterday. Landy has Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays where he updates you on the markets. I didn't get to tune in because I came back late. I was busy as shit. I'll tune into it probably after this show around 4 o'clock. But give me a little piece of what do you, besides Bitcoin, you already said, what do you think happens with everything else? What is going to happen with the altcoins? If you have a minute to touch on that, what do you think happens with the altcoins?
Well, altcoins need Bitcoin to hold up and Bitcoin dominance to start taking a downtick. Bitcoin dominance top ticked on this move around 61.2%. And for altcoins to, and I'll be honest, if I see an alt season anytime soon, like even a mini alt season, I'm not going to be looking at that as a positive indicator. I'm going to be looking at that as a short-term trade. But what I would be looking for is, we have seen Bitcoin dominance come down a little bit off that more recent high, but you'd want to see it come down more towards the uh, under the 60% read for Bitcoin dominance, while also in this case seeing Tether and Circle USDC and USDT dominance come down as well. So what you want to see is a confluence of Bitcoin dominance coming down while Bitcoin price structure holds in an important area. And in tandem, you want to see Tether dominance and USDC or Circle dominance start to head down as well with Bitcoin dominance, because that means that we're getting stable coin flows into altcoins. I don't know if we're there yet, to be quite honest. We're seeing little bits here and there where, there are some alts today that are up versus Bitcoin. There are some sectors that are up in terms of the altcoins, but we're not seeing it across the board. And in fact, the majors are down quite a bit versus Bitcoin, especially when you're looking at Ethereum today. And obviously, I think that some of that is narrative driven. I think that what's going on there is a little bit of fear as well, and then a lot of excitement for things like Hyperliquid and other stuff that's out there. I think that'll switch around though. We'll see in terms of sentiment. We'll see that sentiment switch around. I just don't know when that's going to occur. I think that Ethereum's kind of a drag on altcoins right now. And we're just seeing those outliers kind of pop off and continue to run. Look, I mean, no one can deny that Hyperliquid is getting a lot of shine right now. One, because I think that they built a really good product, right? They have a really good chain, right? There's no denying that. They're pretty well battle tested at this point. And I think that in the lead up to that SpaceX IPO and the ability to have exposure to it through them is also driving a lot of liquidity that way. I mentioned this a few times. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I do believe that the SpaceX IPO is going to be like the Trump event. The Trump token sucked up all of the liquidity out of everything on chain, right? We saw the transfers from Ethereum. People were selling their Bitcoin. There was all kinds of stuff going on so people could chase the Trump token, and it just hoovered up all the liquidity and then spelled the end of the meme coin cycle that eventually ended with the end of the cycle over time. But it really did. It did hoover all of the liquidity up, and there's not a lot of liquidity. I know a lot of people think like, oh, most liquid markets. Well, that's usually Bitcoin or Ethereum or stable coins. But when you're looking at chain to chain, there's not a lot of liquidity in these markets. And I think the SpaceX IPO is going to do that, not just for on chain, it's going to do that for the entire market. I think that we are going to see the SpaceX IPO absolutely hoover up gobs of liquidity, shades of the Trump meme coin token. And we're just going to see that for traditional markets and on chain stuff. I think that Hyperliquid has been an outsized beneficiary of this because of the product they built. Like, you can't deny the product they built is really, really good. I use it. And it's obviously not the only one I use, but that's why that's happening over there. I think eventually we will see. We need to see Ethereum. We need to see Ethereum have good days in order to see alts outperform Bitcoin. Otherwise, I think Bitcoin is going to be the safe haven, and Bitcoin dominance will remain strong. That's my honest take on it. I could be completely wrong, but I try to give everybody my honest take on that stuff. I'm not going to give you hopium or copium.
Landy. Appreciate you always coming on to the show. 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Morning for him, but Eastern Standard Time here. Afternoon here.
Yes,
a little
sir.
bit of the top of the listen. I'm just, you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm back on TikTok, and I'm happy that the Knicks are going to the finals after 27 years. That's
Yes.
what I'm happy about.
And you know what? I'm happy that G Markets is up because I want to go and see what Hyperliquid price would be at ETH's market cap.
Well, we can look. Let's go ahead
Can we
and
look?
you said the G Markets, right? By the
Yeah.
way, G Markets is now up. Okay, it's version 1. Actually, we pushed out version 1.1 yesterday, and we will continue to build out. I want to. Why use somebody else's product when I can use mine?
See?
I sat back. I'm like, I have the brand. Like, why am I using anybody else's product? Use mine. And I'm going to be fair. And like I said a week or two ago, this is fair. This is healthy competition. Nobody's first to market yet. I'm so tired of people being listed by, it's like a cabal, bro. Like, we're going to make it fair. Doesn't matter if I'm friends with you. At the end of the day, like, if you deserve it to be listed, you'll be listed. You'll have your application approved. That's it. Bottom line. We're not going to have the bullshit. We are not going to, I feel like this will cut out the bullshit. Like, the bullshit, this space is all about not having a middleman. And yes, it's a centralized thing, so you will always have a middleman. But I'd like to make it, come off as if it is decentralized. Yeah, like you want to list things or prove things that the people want. Not what the KOLs and the influencers want, but what the people want. That's all I'm saying. We'll go bring that. Let's bring this up. Let's go ahead and share this screen. Look how fast I am with sharing the screen. I'm super fast there, man. Let's see.
Slow down, David. Slow down. Oh, there it is. Okay. A little too quick.
All right, so you guys see this. All right, let's go to, I guess we can hover in like this to make it bigger. But let's go ahead and look at what Hyperliquid versus, you said Ethereum, right?
Yeah, what would its price be at Ethereum's market cap?
Let's not look at the DEX right now. By the way, the DEX came out yesterday, so total market cap is 2.63 trillion. By the way, you can access all of this by going to gmarkets.io. Okay, gmarkets.io. Very simple. You don't even have to spell out my last name. gmarkets.io. If you can't spell that, you need to go back to school. Okay?
I'm sorry. I can spell Nelson, sir. I see it right there on your screen.
Oh my God. All right, let's look at it. All right, so let's
Rob, you've
go.
changed.
Hold on one second. Let's go into it. Well, watch me get the 505. No. I thought I was gonna look at the 404 just now, but all right, let's go ahead and look here. There we go. Hype versus, well, if it had the market cap of Bitcoin, let's go to Ethereum. And there you go. So if Hype had the market cap of ETH, it'd be $1,127.95. It's
Nice.
currently $62.92. Okay.
The reason I asked for this isn't because I think that it's going to necessarily outrun and flip Ethereum, but at some point, I do believe that Hype will have Ethereum's current market cap.
You think
Um,
so?
I think eventually. It might take a while, but I
So
think
you think this is the
eventually.
future price of Hype?
I think where Ethereum's current market cap is, I could see Hyperliquid getting to that. Now, I do think that Ethereum's market cap, if Hype gets to that market cap, would be significantly higher as well. But in terms of if I was going to look at market caps right now and speculate based on height of bull run for Hype and the crypto markets in general, with the trajectory that Hype is on, trust me, I think there's corrections coming up, by the way, for Hype.
So
I
here's
think yes.
what it would be, because like if you guys do come on here, and we'll have more things that come out on gmarkets.io, but so reality check would be at Hype's current 24-hour rate of 1.02%, compounding daily would take 286 days to reach Ethereum's market cap. Essentially, at its current rate, it would take 286 days for it to reach Ethereum's market cap. A little less than a year to reach Ethereum's current market cap, if it were to continue on this path. That's wild.
Yeah, I think me personally,
Look at the chart though. The performance
yeah, it's
in
wild.
the last 30 days of Hype versus Ethereum. Look how dead Ethereum is, bro.
I mean, I was screaming that $20 to $25 Hype. If you see it again, you should pick it up. Well, I was screaming on Spaces, so hopefully somebody heard me. But the conversations, at least at the shows that I attend and am invited to. Thank you, by the way, for those that invite me to your shows. Shout out to Wolf Bitcoin and ATC crew. We've talked about this, about Hype and the trajectory they're on and the relationships that they have and the institutional flow that they have. And you can see that, it's outperformed in a bear market for all assets in the space. And granted, it went down with everything else and hit like $20 or something on that low, on that bigger low down there. And it absolutely ripped to the upside because of, the type of network that they built and the type of relationships they have and the type of institutional onboarding they're doing. So I could very easily see Hype getting to what Ethereum's current market cap is. Now, granted, I think that Ethereum's market cap would be much higher if we see if we see hype trading up towards
Yeah.
that market cap. Obviously, Bitcoin and everything else would also be significantly higher as well. But I think that hype has a lot of potential. Has a long future and a lot of potential in the future to continue to grow. There's a few others as well. I mean, and this is the kind of environment that I think, if you're here right now paying attention to what's going on in the markets, you have a distinct advantage because you can evaluate where you want to get into stuff and you can see and realize those returns later on that people will look back at you and tell you were lucky when
Yeah.
really you just had to be here. You're not lucky. You had to be here and you had to take action. So, if price continues down to the downside, whether Bitcoin and everything goes for another leg down, great. Just better prices to get positioned for the longer term. If it doesn't, great. You still have opportunity staring you in the face on a lot of things. Now, granted, I know that hype is at its all-time high and continuing to push. Me personally, I'm waiting for a wider correction on the daily into the weeklies to continue to accumulate for that and other things that have been outperforming the markets in this space. So even meme coins, David.
Oh
I
my
think you
God. I
can
got to
believe
tell
that.
you, we are getting blitzed with getting verifications and listings done on. I haven't even started marketing this yet. I'm being serious. Like I haven't even put nothing. Nothing. I really do believe like this is it has taken months to put this together.
I know you and
Like
I've
even
been
the
talking about it
climb.
in the background for a while here.
Of,
Even I
you,
didn't
you
see
you
what was
know.
going on. Yeah, but it just for everybody else, even David didn't show me. Yeah, I got previews, a little bit here and there, little teaser here and there, but
You got you got we got so much shit coming. It is crazy. Like there's so much shit coming out. When I tell people I'm working at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, I really am working. Like I am working. I just had to learn not to be a perfectionist because you're never going to get the product out. That's why they have V1 and then V1, the 1.1 and then 1.2. When your product's ready, but you're like, nah, we can add more and more, right? Yeah, motherfucker, calm down. You'll add it. I had to tell myself that. I like the climb. The climb just shows you what hype would have to go ahead and climb in order to get to Ethereum. It just puts things in perspective.
Now this market cap is not the fully diluted values. This is the
No,
circulating supply values.
correct.
Yeah. So for those that might be looking at it going, wait, I thought it was higher market cap and everything is higher than that. Well, it's because you have the fully diluted value market cap, and then you have the circulating supply market cap, and this is the
Correct.
circulating supply market cap. And then this is what, David?
So
This
right here is essentially telling you the size of your bag, right? So if it's telling you how much, if you put in a certain amount of money, how much that would translate into in terms of gains if it were to hit Ethereum's market cap. Not bad. You guys can. This is why, like, when people say, "Oh, I can't make it in crypto," you can't make it because you're lazy. The tools are here. This is free. Like, you can go on here. This is free. It's free. It costs you nothing.
and
Zero.
and this is something I think important right down on the bottom there, the for context part, because one of the things that we kind of get jaded on in the crypto space, because we've seen these incredible moves for crypto assets over the years with incredibly high market caps. And then we kind of get jaded, like, oh, that meme coin, it only went to like $10 billion. Like, you realize how crazy that is? Like, go look at traditional markets and companies. Like, it's kind of wild. So I like the for context stuff is like where Walmart is, Visa, United Healthcare, Netflix, Uber, Nike. right? You've got Ethereum with its circulating supply market cap is higher than Uber and Nike. That's insane. When you think about it,
Crazy.
that's insane. When you think about like Bitcoin, a lot of people do show, they often show the chart of like top, market stocks in terms of market cap compared to where Bitcoin is on that chart, and gold and silver and like all that kind of stuff and how they're changing position. But very few are showing you the bigger picture of just crypto in general. And this is a tiny asset class of crypto. And yet we've had absolute bangers that have usurped the market cap of long-term large industry players, large institutional players stocks. Now, granted, there's security in stocks and that they have
Yeah.
earnings and all that kind of stuff. But even just on the speculation alone, and yes, I know there's networks and they build stuff and there's real volume and there's also fake volume and there's all kinds of different things that happen in both markets. But it is something that when you sit back and look at it, David, I mean, we've been around for a long time, man.
Yeah.
You and I, it still doesn't even register for me sometimes, like how big things have actually gotten. It's still amazing to me.
I am you know what? Obviously, like I sit back here, I built a product and that's G Media, right? But like I haven't really come out with my own products, right? Like, and I'm like, because I've said, somebody said something about like it's still first to, it's first to market still. There are things that haven't been built out here, or people try to build them and they gave up. And I feel like you can really build some really cool shit in crypto. That's why like I took kind of offense to what Pomp said about crypto being dead. The crypto industry is not dead. If you want to talk about some of these cryptocurrencies coming back, we could talk about that. We could talk about that all day long. I've said on my podcast that half of these cryptocurrencies won't survive.
Yeah.
Like there's no debate there. But to say crypto as a whole is dead and only these specific assets are moving forward, I think that's a spit in the face. I really do believe that. I believe
Well,
that's something like, you know, I would say there's about 100 cryptocurrencies that have a very good chance at doing something. And I think that's a fair statement to make. At least 100 minimum that have a chance.
well, I think the biggest battles are going to be had soon, right? Because we have a lot of networks. You and I have talked about this a lot actually over the years now. And it's been years now, which is kind of wild, David. But the the big thing here is we got a lot of networks that do the same thing essentially at the end of the day. And for a long time the differentiator has been, well, we're faster, right? And that typically has resulted in um the speed of blocks race, right? It's still ongoing. It's like we're faster, we're cheaper, we're this, we're that. But in reality, we have a lot of blockchains that do essentially the same thing in a different way. And institutions are going to pick the winners, right? And I've said this a lot. They're going to pick the winners, and the reason why they're going to pick the winners is because, and how they're going to pick the winners, more importantly, is by where they place their liquidity, right? And that will intrinsically, although we'll have other networks that stick around probably for a very long time, that's going to, cause the culling, in my opinion, where there's going to need to be specialization. And if you're going to survive in the future, you can't just do the same thing. You'll need to have all of the same kind of tools and products available, but you'll have to see specialization, right? And
Yeah.
that specialization is going to what be, categorized into a sector. I think that we'll just start to see this blending of stock tokens, RWA, and blockchains um, being grouped in with those sectors. And that's going to be very important, I think, going forward. And I think we're just gearing up now. We're just seeing the very early stages of that now start to get rolling in the way that institutions are approaching it. So when an institution is saying, okay, we want to tokenize on chain, and they're picking chains right now, they're going to each one of the chains and they're testing things out. They're providing some liquidity. Maybe they're building a little bit. Maybe they're invested in some of these VCs that are injecting money. Maybe they're invested in some of these groups that are standing up, validators and validator sets, miners and stuff like that, and they're all over the place. They're not just on one network. In fact, they have a lot of interest cross networks, whether it be Hyperliquid, Ethereum. Some are even invested into the Bitcoin blockchain as well. And then they've got little money in each pot, but eventually they're going to pull all that money and put it on one horse, because that is how they can then provide the most liquid environment for the products that they want to tokenize. And I think that we're in the middle of the bigger industry players and the bigger institutions starting to identify this stuff. And I think we're in for a wild ride. And I think that is not going to be the same type of ride that we've seen before, in terms of when an alt season, starts to get rolling, that we see the all pump, and each and every little thing will get a little uplift usually, right? When you have an alt season, but not where everything is running to clear new all-time highs like it used to. It's going to be sector by sector. It's going to be, um, you know, large cap by large cap and small cap to large cap, right? And I don't think we're going to see that full rotation like we've seen before. I
Yeah.
think we're going to see winners being picked and bets being placed on those winners. I think it's going to
Well, it's gonna be fun,
be, yeah, man.
and everybody has an opportunity to front. I'm gonna keep saying this. You have an opportunity, especially even right now, to front run the banks and front run everybody. You can do it. Don't chase. Don't chase. And use gmarkets.io to go ahead and to help you out. It's not financial advice, just an educational tool. But like, you know what? When you look at like something like that, what the community is looking at, that's real time. People like clicking and using the tools. Right now, it's Bitcoin, and like people are mostly going to Bitcoin and ETH
Yep.
to simulate like what would happen with the market cap. Like this kind of data is important, especially for me, because when I come onto this show and I want to talk about, I'm going to look at all this stuff and say, okay, this is what the people are looking at. This is what the people are having discussions about. So still V11. Hold on. It's 1.1. 1.12 comes out maybe later today.
Yeah.
Working on a few things.
Nice, man. Yeah, just constant iteration. I'm probably going to jump in and give you some feedback as well soon.
Yeah, we have a feedback tab.
Yep.
I made this so everybody can go ahead and give their feedback. Go ahead, absolutely give your feedback. 100%. But when you guys look at gmarkets.io, you'll know exactly who you'll know exactly who I'm going after. You will 100% know exactly who I'm going after. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of them start copying the shit and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It's all good. Well, Landy.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna tune into your show so I can go ahead and watch it a bit. I always
Well, I
watch the full
appreciate
thing.
that.
I didn't get to watch it yesterday though.
Yeah, it's
But
all good, man. It's
but
up.
I will watch it. And again, guys, if you haven't tuned in, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you have Landy that comes on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By the way, yesterday, for some reason, I thought it was Sunday. I seen Rob go live. I'm like, why is he going live on a Sunday? And then I realized it's Monday. And then he's complaining. I tune in and he's complaining about me, giving props to you, complaining about me. I found that funny. And the only reason I knew he went live is because you liked his live stream. So I'm like, why is he going live on a Sunday? Like, who goes live on a Sunday? Are you that bored? But no, he was talking about, again, ranting and raving about how, Trump and this and that and the third. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that with Landy tomorrow. But we got to keep, we got to keep it PG. We can't curse because TikTok will take. I had to write. I'm telling you, I wrote a thesis, bro. I wrote a thesis out to TikTok. I'm like, this is not fair. I deserve to be. What the hell is this? Oh, they got a new person? Okay, no, never mind. I think they got a new person. No, I wrote them a letter. I'm like, yo, what the hell, man? I didn't even do nothing. I didn't do nothing to be taken off of TikTok. It's crazy that I could go live on the phone and stuff, but I couldn't go live through Restream. It's crazy. Anyway, I appreciate you, brother, and we'll chat later on today.
Same, brother. You might want to update your nameplate there, Mr. Nelson. But I appreciate
Oh my
you having me
God.
on.
Is that what you kept joking about? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
That's why.
This dude, what is this dude doing, bro? Jesus Christ. No
I
wonder
was going
nobody's
to message you in the
participating this
background
show.
as well, but I thought it was too hilarious, so I just let you roll with it.
Wow. Like, this is crazy, bro. The hell? What the hell? Anyway, thank you, Landy.
Much love, brother. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, what is going on? He's been ranking on me the entire time, knowing that I have this on. This is crazy. Anyway, shout out to Landy for mentioning this. I was going to mention obviously gmarkets.io later today, but shout out to Landy. Again, this is just version 1, really version 1.1. We have an update coming that obviously will, the people that I've shown this to, they've fallen in love with it. So I can only imagine when the new update's pushed out. And obviously there's bugs and stuff like that, little bugs and stuff to go ahead and take care of. But the new update, hopefully you guys, you'll be even more excited about it. Again, if you, I don't know, if you're a token, if you're a project, you want to go ahead and apply. And like, why not? Also, I want to just show you this. Newly worth, I look, unverified projects that meet the listing threshold, 2 million. You got to have a $2 million market cap plus 1 million plus in volume. And it has to be all real. Okay, so now you look at these things, right? Now you look. Okay, now you look and you're like, okay, potentially these can be verified. But you as a team have to submit for verification. You as a team need to apply. And yes, we are a for-profit business. Just want to let everybody know it's for profit, but it's fair. It's a for-profit business, but it's fair. Okay? But it's fair. We're not making money on your trades. So it's fair. And you can go to the home screen and also check out the top 5 by market cap. Obviously, right now, it is Bitcoin. Then it's Ethereum. Obviously, stablecoin here, but BNB and XRP. Those are Those are your 5 right now. Those are your 5 right now. Who else is here besides coin? Let's see. Besides USDC, you have Solana here, $84 Solana. You have Tron, man. I don't know how Tron does it. I really do not know how Tron does it. You also have the index. The G Markets Index, 25 verified projects, one reference. You can read all about it. You can jump into it. These are the top 25 in there. And guess who's in here? One meme is in here. And there you have it. You have Dog. Dog on Bitcoin. Okay. Verified. You'll see a verified symbol right here. See that right there? You'll see a verified symbol on token pages. And you can also, obviously, on that token pages, compare market caps. It is interesting. It is absolutely interesting. Obviously, you'll see breakdowns in performance from 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, 1 year. There's a lot. You can go through this whole thing. And obviously, there's security audits and everything on here. Everything's on here. So, again, and shout out to the Dog community. Shout out to the Dog community. Big shout out to them. Very active community. But this platform was made, and I had it's been in the works for months, but the intention is to make it fair. To make it fair for projects to be seen. Not the cabal picking what you guys will see. No. It's what's fair. It's what the community wants. Not what the cabal wants. Not what your favorite KOL wants. Not what your favorite influencer is peddling to you. Okay? It's what the community wants to see. Who has the loudest community? Who has the dopest team? If you have a great, let me say something right now. If you have a great team, and if there's an actual team that actually cares about the project, they're getting themselves verified. Okay? That's how you know a project is serious. They will go ahead and verify themselves to make sure that, you know what, we're verified on G Markets. We know David has a stake in G Markets. We're verified on gmarkets.io. We are verified there. And it's not an easy thing. By the way, let me just show you something. Different than what the others. And I'm sure, listen, if they sweat me good, I was first to market anyway. Find the motherfucker. Where is it? Hold on. Where's the log? Log. Public log. Okay. It will tell you, the public log will tell you why somebody was verified and why somebody was denied. And you don't have to pay up front, by the way. And you can read all about it too. You don't have to pay up front. You apply, and if you get approved, you can read everything that you need to know on the apply for a badge. Basically, apply for verification. But it will be noted here. This is where it will be noted. Why somebody got turned down and why somebody got approved. And it's fair. It is a fair process. Some people will say it can't be fair because you're going to have some. No, it is fair. It is what the people want. It is going to be very, very fair. Or we're going to try to do the best job we can possibly do when it comes to this. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. Might be partnerships. There might be a lot of partnerships on the way too. People have seen this and right away, of course, they reached out because it makes sense. It does 100% make sense. It makes sense. Absolutely. We'll be back right after this commercial break. Let me go ahead. Before I go to commercial break, I'm scared. I got to shut this off because last time I went to commercial break and something was on here, it like everything stopped working. So we'll be right back though after this commercial break, okay? And I'm thankful. A lot of people are already DMing me about getting on gmarkets.io. Gmarkets.io. We'll be back to talk more about, you know what? Let's talk more about gmarkets.io.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Man, I really didn't think I would. I'm getting blitzed right now. Okay. I didn't, thanks, Landy. I am not, listen, I was going to talk about it regardless, but I'm getting blitzed right now with emails. Emails are coming in for people that are interested in being on G Markets. So shout out to the neighborhood. Shout out to the neighborhood. By the way, I'm back on TikTok. I'm so happy to be back on TikTok. Hold on, let me see what the TikTokers are saying. Oh man, what the hell? Hold on. Maybe I can start posting on there again. That'd be great. You start your own business, use a separate bank account, makes bookkeeping easier. I have no clue what the hell. Oh, that was to me. We need to take Rage to 2 million market cap. Hold on. And get verified. Proud of you, DG. Amazing. Gmarkets.io. That's right. That's right. I'm proud of myself. Nobody's gonna clap for you. You better go ahead and clap for yourself, man. Clap for yourself. I'll be on Mexi's show tomorrow. I don't do interviews. Everybody knows this. I really don't do interviews, but Mexi, a good friend, asked me if I would come on to her show. I was kind of hesitant because I don't do spaces and I don't do a lot of podcasts. I get podcast requests. I just don't do them. But I will be on there at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. If you're on Twitter or on X, formerly known as Twitter, I will be on Mexi's show. I might have to plead the fifth on a lot of things. I don't know what kind of discussion. I don't know what kind of questions you should go hit me with. I hope it's a great conversation. I think it'll be a great conversation. I'm happy to see her. I'm happy to see Mexi doing her thing. I really am. I'm happy she's out there and she's happy and she's doing her thing. And she's doing what she's passionate about doing, and that's hosting a show and bringing people on and just having convos. It's nice to see. It's nice to see her doing those things. It's nice. I'm glad to be back. I am glad to be back on TikTok. I'm being serious. I miss TikTok. Obviously, we have our own crowd here on TikTok. We have a good crowd here on TikTok. A lot of people don't, and I'm going to write on the bulletin board that I'm back. But we have our own crowd here. And we have fun. And I was put in the penalty box for 2-3 weeks? 2-3 weeks. I missed you guys. I really did. I really missed having conversations and having you guys troll me. I miss you guys trolling me. I actually miss you guys trolling me. I love you. I really do. The most electrifying personality, media personality, was put on the sidelines. Y'all had to listen to some boring ass motherfuckers. I've tuned into shows. They're boring. There's no energy. Lifeless, limp dick energy. None. You know these people, when they go into the bathroom, they sit when they pee type of energy. Okay? It's like Eminem says. What would you do without me? Who brings you energy? Like who brings you, like, the passion just comes, like the passion just comes out. You can't compare me to anybody. I've watched these shows as I sat suspended for no reason. I watched these shows and I fell asleep. I watched these shows because rather than take melatonin, I can go ahead and just go to sleep watching these shows. Just go to sleep watching these shows, man. By the way, if you're looking at me right now, you're like, oh shit, this dude's big. Or he's getting bigger. Relax. Relax. Scared of what? What would I be scared of? What would I be scared of? What's there to be scared of? I was scared that I was never going to get my TikTok account back. You know what? You want to hear the honest truth? I thought that I was never getting my TikTok account back. I thought I was never going to be able to stream to the people that love me and I love them. Thought I would never be able to mosh pit with you guys ever, ever, ever again. And here I am. You got people pivoting. We got people talking about they own no crypto and they're talking about crypto. I am lost. I am absolutely lost, man. I am absolutely lost. I'm watching podcasts, people talk about, I don't own any crypto, but let's talk about crypto. What are we doing? I don't know why I was suspended. I have no idea. Zero. The people. You hurt the people when you took me off for 2 weeks. You hurt the people. The people were hurt. I'm still pissed off about the crypto comment that Pomp made. Like, I'm really still pissed about that. Like, what happened to like money isn't everything, like, right? Like, money isn't everything. You think Satoshi would be sleeping with the banks? Like, you really think Satoshi would be in bed with them? You think Satoshi would be a mouthpiece for the banks? I have nothing but nice things to say about Sui. I think Sui's underrated. I have gone into things that I believe that are oversold, like Sui. I believe like a lot of these things are absolutely oversold, underrated, undervalued. Like, I'm taking a flyer on them, and when the market does come back and it sends, I'm not chasing. If I'm getting in at $1 and it goes to 10, I didn't chase. I got to sit back and relax and ring the register, because that's what you got to do. You got to continue to ring the register, man. You got to continue to read the register. You know what? Somebody just said, Renee said, put it in God's hands, David. Ask God to direct you every way, but you got to stop cursing. Renee, I agree with you up until you said you got to stop cursing. And let me say something, man. I can't, it's not intentional. God made me this way. If we're going to talk about God, God made me this way. I do have to say, though, when I do go out and when I'm socializing, I'm not cussing. I'm not cursing at all. I am... I speak totally fine. It's when I come on here to do this show, The Breakdown, that I get very excited. And I get very passionate about the topics that I talk about. And the F-bombs and the F-bombs start dropping. Yes, the F-bombs start dropping. But you have to take your complaints up with God. It's not me. He created me. Like, what am I? Obviously, my parents had to do their thing, but he created me. Renee, you got to be yourself, man. You got to be yourself. You can't stop doing what you're used to doing. You got to be, yes, Litecoin is absolutely undervalued. I don't understand how people are fading Litecoin, man. Like, it is wild to watch. How much will I make, you think? I bought 10,000 of it. I don't know. That's one thing. You can go to G Markets and play around with the tools. There'll be more tools that come out, and see how much you could possibly make with Sui. I believe God wants us to be exactly who we are. I believe that. I actually have a quote. About that. Hold on. You know what the quote is? I'll tell you what the quote is on that. Hold on. I have a quote on that. Where is it? What the hell is it? I'll read that one for the quote of the day. Oh, did I not save it? Oh, I didn't save it. Hold on. Did I save it somewhere here? Hold on. It's a good quote, too. Okay, ready? God is very intentional. Nothing about your life is random, not the delays, not the detours, not even the waiting. He knows exactly what he's doing. Please learn to trust him more this year. Listen, I'm with that. I'm with that. I am with that. Like what I just dropped just now, I'm with that. Welcome to the breakdown. Again, if you are a project and you feel like you're not being seen because the cabal is doing cabal things, the cabal maxing, the cabal maxing. The cabal max. If you feel like the cabal is cabal maxing, you can go to gmarkets.io. The push hasn't even begun. The traffic is already hitting. You will be seen if you have a project that hasn't been seen or listed. A lot of you guys are waiting to be listed on sites that really don't do nothing. You guys are waiting to be listed on sites that don't really do nothing for you. They're not there to support you. gmarkets.io is. Gmarkets absolutely is. We'll be right back after this commercial break with more on my take on the crypto market and all that good stuff.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Sorry. Welcome back. Renee, I do look well rested, don't I? I've been working my ass off, honestly. Yesterday, I went into the sauna. I was in there for an hour and a half. I thought at the end, I thought I was about to die, but I made it. I made it, and I'm happy that I made it out the fucking. Yo, I worked out so hard yesterday. 2 hours, like every body part. Like I don't even feel my legs today, but it gets the blood flowing. I don't know. It's sunny outside. Might go bike riding. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, handsome as ever, David. We love you. I love you too. Thank you so much. By the way, if you want to be as handsome as me, I'm not sponsored by Crest, but look, people ask me, why do you have such a white smile? Well, I use this. Hold on. Can you even fucking see this? Can y'all see this? Can y'all see this? Oh, there you go. Crest 3D white. That's right. Your breath smells good. Your teeth are white. Because you want to be presentable, right? Don't you want to be presentable? Don't you want to walk up to somebody and smell good? Like, why smell like ass when you can go ahead and smell like Arctic Fresh? You can smell like Arctic Fresh. Yo, I swear to God, new sponsor. That's right, new sponsor. They gotta sponsor me, man. Yo, every like men's hygiene product needs to slide into my DMs, send me an email, and just be like, you know what? You're perfect. I switch up my toothpaste. I switch up. I would never destroy it. I'm answering, by the way, I'm answering people in all, like TikTok doesn't show up on this chat. X people don't see people on YouTube. Why is that? Why can't, maybe I have to go to Streamlabs. I think I have to go to Streamlabs because I think Streamlabs allows everybody to have a conversation. So you can see people on Kick and YouTube and TikTok and everybody can go ahead and fight. Because I would love to see everybody like troll each other from all different networks. That would be great. Where you guys are trolling me, I'd love to see you guys troll yourselves. That would be it. Magic. By the way, again, I'm not. I have absolutely no sponsorship with Crest, but I use Crest. Sensodyne is pretty good too. For those who actually brush their teeth. By the way, I got my new Pit Vipers. That's right. I got my new Pit Vipers, and that is because I already told you guys what I'm doing. But TikTok, you don't know what I'm doing. I am working towards a goal here to participate in a contest. Not a contest, but an event. Let's go ahead and open. Let's do an unboxing. Let's do an unboxing of my Pit Vipers. Hold on. Let's see. Damn it. People are like, man, I came here for crypto. He's opening up his Pit Vipers. Oh, these are dope. I knew these were going to be dope. There, let's go. Oh, these are gonna be fucking dope. 100%. Yo, move out my way, son. Like, yeah, these are going to be dope. Hold on. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, those are dope. All right. I got 2 pairs. I ain't just get one. I got 2 pairs of Pit Vipers. Yo, Pit Vipers, man. Not sponsored by Pit Viper. See, a lot of these things should be sponsoring me. If you think about it. Like, I am, like, buying all this shit with my own money. Toothpaste with my own money. Toothbrushes with my own money. Shampoo with my own money. By the way, some people send me merch, and the merch is like sandpaper, bro. Like, the merch legit is sandpaper. All right, let's see. I got these also. I just wanted to be a little bit... I just wanted to have, like... So I got those. You seen those? I just wanted to have a little, like, New York, Italy, Milan type of fashion going on when I'm, like, running. So I thought these, right? Like these are like Kanye black Kanye, like something that Kanye would wear, right? Like so, like I'm yeah. It's black on black on black. There you go. There you go. So, as the kids would say, I'm mogging, I guess. I could be mogging. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to crypto. Recapping exactly what I was told. Jesus Christ. We'll have guest. Now we'll bring on the guest, right? Now we have TikTok, the audience. Now we'll bring on the guest. We have Charles coming on this week. We'll have Filecoin coming on this. I believe Filecoin comes on this week. We have Zcash. We got a lot of things cooking. We have a lot of things cooking. TikTok. I'm gonna give you this. TikTok. Who do you want me to bring on from TikTok that you like on TikTok that you think would be, or that you think would make for a great show? Let me know. Hit me up in the DMs. We'll go ahead and work that out. Okay, I'll give that to you guys. By the way, again, Gmarkets, gmarkets.io. Let me retweet that. Let me retweet that real quick. Let's retweet that. All right, there you go. I put it in episode 715, sponsored by Midnight. By the way, I'm going to be doing something really cool today or tomorrow, and that is I'm going into Midnight City. I have been telling you guys that Midnight City is going to, it really will onboard a lot of people into Midnight. I stand on that. I believe that wholeheartedly. Midnight City is the key for Midnight. And I know people will say that's crazy. It's a game. It's more than just a game. It is. If you're in the crypto industry, you know how people love games, love playing games. And I remember there was a protocol, I won't name them. There was a protocol that came out and they did really well. Their numbers were well. They did well in general. And the entire community participated in playing this game. It was pixelated, but they played this game nonstop. And I just feel like Midnight City is 10 times whatever that is, and it will continue to grow. And I can't wait to, by the way, show off my avatar, my AI avatar, my AI agent. I can't wait to go ahead and show it off. And I want to give a shout out to Midnight, the Midnight Foundation, for giving me my own. And hopefully you guys go ahead and create your, get into Midnight City and vibe out with me there. I'm going to take like an hour or two to run around naked in Midnight City. We'll talk to Charles more about Midnight City. I know he's excited. Charles is really making the rounds. I got to tell you, man. I got to give him a shot. He doesn't even need to do. You know what the craziest thing is? Charles is a billionaire and he doesn't need to do any of this shit. He could retire. He could be chilling, okay? But he's out here running around talking to everybody. He's absolutely having conversations with every single individual in the crypto space. Literally running around having conversations, going to random spaces, just talking with everybody. You want to support founders like this? I will support any founder that runs around and tries to have a normal conversation, not selling anything, but a normal conversation with the crowd. He's not trying to sell you anything. Charles doesn't need to sell you anything. If somebody talks about, you know what the craziest thing is? Somebody talks about their company. You should admire that. They're not scared to talk about their company in front of people. Like you're supposed, if you've built something, you're supposed to talk about it. Why would you shy away from it? If you like, it's like you guys own assets. Like if you have Pepe, or if you have Bitcoin, or if you have Ethereum, if you have Tesla stock, why would you be ashamed to talk about the items that you own? No, you want to find a place where you can tell everybody about everything that you have. So you can go into having these cool fucking conversations. Maybe you'll learn something. It's crazy. You should never struggle with self-promotion. It's good. You built something. Look, I built something. I don't give a shit what anybody says. You're always going to have critics. You're always going to have somebody who's going to sit there and say it's shit. It's crap. They're always going to try to tear it down. They've never built anything in their lives. Why do you care? Why do you care about anybody's opinion? No, the only opinion that matters is your own. You cannot live. It's impossible to live a normal life, a great life, if you're affected by people's opinions. You know how many times people have said things about me, and you know this, like, come on, people have ripped me apart. There are people that like me, but there are people that rip me apart. I kid. Sometimes, because 10 years ago or 11 years ago, when I really went into crypto, what was it, 2016, when I popped on crypto Twitter, they love me, and then they hate, and then you start growing, and people start looking at you differently. They don't like that you're growing. They hate the fact that you're growing. They hate the fact that you're building something. People will try to tear you down. You can't let people try to tell you that. You can't have these excuses either. By the way, let me tell you, this is the motivational hour at this point. If you want something in life, go get it. You have one life. You can't live with regrets, man. Like, it is horrible. The worst thing you can ever do is live with regrets. The worst thing you could do is not do something because people are going to clown you. Can you imagine when you look back at life? When you look back at 80, 90 years old, God willing, and you're sitting at some random nursing home, and you're going to say, man, I wish I could have done that. That's crazy. You're allowing people to stop you from chasing down your dreams? Man, that is wild. The world's not going to root for you. I'm sorry to break it to you. The world is not going to root for you to win. You're going to have to win by yourself. You're going to have to be your biggest fan. Bottom line. The biggest thing I hate is when people make excuses. And some make excuses because they don't mean to make excuses, but it's just the way the world has been constructed. People they make these excuses because they don't believe that things can be achieved, but when they can be achieved. You could do whatever you want. You can really do whatever the fuck you want. You really want something, go get it. Okay, if you fail, you fail. Okay. It's not really a failure. It's a lesson learned to get you back up on the saddle. You adjust the game plan and you go again. You don't stop. We all fail. We all fail our way to success. I'm going to say this again. We all fail our way to success. There is not one single successful person that did not fail. And you're sitting here like, oh shit, I can't do this because I might fail. Do you understand like the logic? You have to fail. It's like when you ride your bike and they finally take the goddamn training wheels off. You might fall. But guess what? You're going to get back on that bike and you're going to get it right. That very day, you're going to get that right. A lot of people don't accomplish anything because they're scared to fail. They're scared of other people's opinions. Okay. And that's why they fail. Instead of trolling people, I'm going to give you an idea. Instead of trolling people that are trying, you should be looking at these people and being motivated. Motivated by how they're trying to achieve a goal. I'm sure a lot of you guys have sat back. It can't be that you guys have never sat back and had a thought in your head and said, man, I have a good idea. I wish I can go ahead and see it through. You have the tools. You literally have the tools to do anything you want in this world. You're the only person, you know, when people say they're being held back by who? Yourself. Don't talk about the color of your skin. That doesn't matter anymore. That does not matter anymore. If you want to get something done, you're going to get it done. Or you're going to make excuses. That's it. Bottom line. You're either going to get it done or you're going to make excuses. I choose not to make excuses. I want to get it done. I want to get these goals. I have goals. I want G Media to be like the biggest business ever. And I'm going to do everything possible to do that. That's it. That's the goal. I want to build great products that are meaningful, that people, that help people. Like, these are the things that I have in my mind, and I know that I can deliver it. That's it. And that's the mindset. That has to be the mindset. Win, lose, or draw. The mindset has to be, I'm going to win. I will succeed no matter what. It doesn't matter what they say about me. They can say I'm cockeyed. They can say that my eyebrow is higher than the... It doesn't matter what they say. They might say my teeth's too white, or like, man, how does he have black? Like, they can rag on you all they want. They could say how it's not fair because he's good looking, he's ridiculously handsome here, and like, it doesn't matter what they say. It really doesn't matter what anybody says. Really does not. Nobody's opinion should matter except your own. Your own opinion is the only one that should ever matter. And just because you're not where you want to be yet doesn't mean that you're not going to get there. There's a reason for everything. I believe in God, and I believe there's a reason for everything. And God likes to teach, and God likes to break people down and make them stronger. He won't completely destroy you. He wants to break you and have you come back harder. Like, I know it. I know it. These are lessons and valuable lessons that you learn so you can break through the hard times when hard times show up. Everybody's like, oh, God's against me. God picks favorites. God doesn't pick favorites. And God doesn't pick like a sporting team. Like, I listen to people say, oh, you know, like, I'm going to pray to God for my team to win. You think God's sitting there rooting for your team to win? No. God loves you in the same way he loves me. God loves you the same way he loves me. There's no difference. Let God take the wheel, right? That's I've been told that a lot in my life. Let God take the wheel. Sometimes, you know what? If you believe in God, then you let God take the wheel, man. Stop taking the... I've had that said to me. The biggest thing I've learned in business, here's the biggest thing I've learned in business. I have a competitive personality. I look for solutions. I don't care about the problems. I don't want to talk about the problem. Tell me what's wrong and let's fix it. That's my approach. I'm very aggressive. I'm competitive. I'm passionate. Maybe I'll rub people the wrong way, but I can't change who I am. I really can't. I am just determined to win. And I read a quote. It's just like the higher you start moving, or the higher you go, the more people will tend to hate you, and it's okay. Once you learn that, it'll be okay. But you can't change your personality. You can't change your character or your personality when you're building. This is not to say you have to be an asshole. What I'm saying is you can't change who you are, especially when you're building something big. You just can't do it. People won't like it. People won't like it. That's why you are your biggest fan. Anyway, it is 1:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That wasn't the quote of the day that I gave you like a half an hour before. That was just me saying, hey, like somebody started talking. I think Renee started talking about God, and I said like, hey, I do agree with you, except on the last part of the sentence that she put out, or the comment that she put out there. God made me the way I am. Why do I curse? I don't know. I get excited, and I don't know. I don't know. I just drop F-bombs. I can't help it. That's me being excited. Anyway, let me give you the quote of the day. Shout out to the sponsors. I can't help it. Crypto will be okay. I just had to get that off my chest, though. I don't. Our own people are trying to destroy crypto. Like, what is wrong with you? How much money are they paying? And like, you couldn't pay me $1 billion to go ahead and come out here and say that crypto is dead. Like, you couldn't pay me enough. I don't care who I fight with here within the industry. I don't care who likes me within the industry. I would never come out here and fucking say crypto is dead. There you go. Craigo got the right idea. Full forward. Full forward, man. Full forward. Let's go ahead and let's look at the quote of the day. The quote of the day. By the way, shout out to TikTok. I am happy that we're back on TikTok. I believe that the suspension for 2 weeks, I don't know if it was really a suspension, but taking me off of Restream, it was undeserved. It really was. Like, every single day I come on here and I break down cryptocurrencies. I break down, I talk about AI. We talk about politics, obviously. The value is here. There is value here. Okay? Some people might not see it as value. Some people do. You can't shut somebody's mouth up like that. That is awful. Okay, if somebody reports, you got to do your due diligence. Excuse me, you got to do your due diligence. What the fuck? Let me take a fucking sip of water. It sound like I'm fucking having a stroke. This is gonna be a blooper, bro. Due diligence. Okay, you got to do your due diligence. TikTok, when somebody's reporting. Okay, you got to really look into it and not just have your AI algorithm just take me out for no reason. And then I'm writing letters saying, why the hell am I on the sidelines? Like, this is not fair. I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't go over the line. Even when I played the press conference, live press conference, like every single other media organization played, when I'm playing live from the White House, from the briefing room, Trump talking, and he says something crazy, that's not on me or any other network. It isn't. There's no delay, and there's no filter on this guy. So what do you want us to do? We're reporting on the news, and you should be lucky you have a platform where you are not really paying content creators, okay? Anything. We're providing the content. You're making billions upon billions of dollars. You might give us a little, but that's about it. We're the ones that are providing the content. You should be extremely happy. Every social media platform should be looking at ways to incentivize and make content creators or media personalities feel good on their platforms and not continue to slap people on the wrists and embarrass them in front of everybody. That doesn't even make sense. Embarrassing a content creator or a media personality. It sucks. That absolutely sucks. This is a thankless job. Like, we come on here every single day. You prepare. What are we talking about? We're talking about Bitcoin. Oh my God. Now look, meme liquidity outpaces major asset. We're talking about all these things that matter. People are tuning in because it matters to them. People are tuning in because they like the personality in front of this mic and looking into this camera. You can't take that away from the people. You can't make those decisions. You can't be playing the fucking role of God here. You really can be. This is my livelihood. Like, this right here, being in media is my livelihood. You can't take that away from me. You don't have to like me. That's fine. But you can't take this away from me. And you can't take it away from the people. There are people that watch. They actually find this entertaining. Anyway, let's go ahead and quote of the day. This is perfect for me. Quote of the day. Be shamelessly yourself, unapologetically cocky, savagely outspoken, capable of extreme violence, then wrap it into gentleness, impeccable manners, a warm smile, and an attitude of generosity. There you go. Be shamelessly yourself, unapologetically cocky, savagely unspoken, capable of extreme violence, then wrap it into gentleness, impeccable manners, a warm smile, and an attitude of generosity. I was reading that quote yesterday and I was like, this is me. This is me. This is absolutely me. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Midnight. Shout out to Polymarket. Shout out to Cake Wallet. Shout out to Quad Network. On that note, I'm out.